When I looked up here, it was so bright. We were talking about The Walking Dead. I don't know if you watched that show or not, but we were talking about it because it's kind of a similar thing. As people become so crazy, they're now zombies, really. And I said, what would you do in that situation? I said, if I were in charge of the government, I wouldn't just be separating, saying all the cranks are here, all the uninfected people are here. I would be killing those cranks. Because they're not people anymore. You know? If it were me, I would want to live as a crazy person that might hurt somebody else. I'd want to be dead before that happened. So I would say all those people, you have to kill them. That'd be the only way to contain that virus. Was I not progressing?
No, you were.
Okay, ready? Chapter 35. Soon they were all sitting together. The goal was to talk over what should come next, but the reality was they had nothing to say. The group of four just stared at the floor and said nothing. For some reason, Thomas couldn't get Jansen out of his head. Could going back really be a way to save Newt? Every part of him rebelled against the idea of returning to Wicked. But if he did go back and was able to complete the testing, Minho broke the soaring silence. I want you three to listen to me. He took a moment to look at each one of them, then continued. Ever since we broke out of Wicked, I've basically gone along with whatever you slintheads ended up saying we should do. And I haven't complained much. He gave Thomas the right answer. But right here, right now, I'm making a decision. And you're going to do what I say. And if anyone pushes back, to hell with you. Thomas knew what his friend wanted, and he was glad for it. I know we have bigger goals in mind, Minho continued. We need to connect with the right arm, figure out what to do about Wicked, all that save the world comes. But first, we're going to find Newt. This isn't open for discussion. The four of us, all of us, are flying to wherever we need to go, and we're getting Newt out of there. Brenda said, they call it the Crank Palace. Thomas turned to her, and she was staring up into space. It has to be what he was talking about. Some of those red shirts probably broke into the berg, found Newt, and saw he was infected. Let him leave us alone. I don't have any doubt that's what happened. Sounds fancy, Minho said. You've been there? No. Every major city has a Crank Palace, a place where they send the infected and try to make it bearable for them until they reach the dawns. I don't know what they do then, but it's not a pretty place to be, no matter who you are. So I can only imagine. The Munes run things there and get paid a lot for it because it's not immune. Because an autoimmune would never risk catching it there. If you want to go, we should think long and hard about it first. We are completely out of ammunition, so we'll be unharmed. Despite the ominous description, Minho had a glimmer of hope in his eyes. Long and hard thinking done. You know where the closest one is? Yeah, Jorge answered. We passed over it on the way here. It's just on the far side of this valley, right up against the mountains to the west. Minho clapped his hands once. Then that's where we're going. Jorge, get this piece of clunk up in the sky. Thomas expected at least a little argument or resistance, but none came. I'll be glad for a little adventure, muchacho, Jorge said, standing up. We'll be there in 20 minutes. Jorge was true to his word on the timing. He landed the bird in a clearing along the beginning of the forest that stretched up the surprisingly green mountainside. About half the trees were dead, but the other half looked as if they'd just begun to recover from years of massive heat spells. It made Thomas sad to think that the world would probably recover from the sun flares just fine someday, only to find itself uninhabited. He stepped off the cargo ramp and took a good look at the wall surrounding what had to be the Craig Palace, just a few hundred feet away. It was made of thick planks of wood